All right, afternoon session, 12 o'clock. Let's just go over and just look at some of the technicals that we discussed earlier, and we'll still do the market recap. This is what we're looking at. Let's check out mRNA first and foremost. We were looking at a potential dip by first thing in the morning right off the double top. Everything was red. Now, we did take a small position, and then we went ahead and cut the position, got out of it. When everything is red and starting to roll over, it's sometimes not the best thing to be in. Now, we did take a stab at it again down at the bottom. This is that former breakout area where it found support before. It makes sense to me on why the stock should hold there. This was the prior resistance, now hopefully the new support. We mentioned that also first thing in the morning. Now we would just be expecting the target maybe up 438.70, but it needs to get over this green mark right here. This was the prior resistance for the stock before making a nice squeeze to the upside. Now, same thing, we're just waiting for it. I don't like this particular candle right there. It should have had a much deeper penetration on this prior candle. It would have been nice to get above it. So what we would have been looking for is probably a candle that looks something like this. We need to put in a move, get up above it, put in a lower high. So here's the first low, then a lower high, get above it, and then it would have been really cool to build a support right off the top of that green mark. Now we're fighting underneath it. We are in the position. We'll just wait, see what happens. No need to cut it yet. We did get a great buy. We are down here clear at the bottom, so it's not going to hurt us to hold. Most likely, even if it does go do something like this back and forth, it does look like it's building energy, waiting for time to catch with the price to push it lower. But we could definitely get a gap into this area tomorrow, which is where we will cut it if that's the case. Now, that's on mRNA to update you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel if you find this information useful. And be sure to turn on the notification bell. Also, first link in the description box below, we have our private Facebook group where there are like-minded traders who are looking for potentially some good deals and some stocks to invest in, where we did update the Facebook group on what was going on first thing in the morning and what we saw as the day was continuing. Now, PTON dropped right into the area that we liked. We mentioned that we'd like to see it come right through this 111 area. It did. We got ourselves a reversal candle. If we look on the smaller time frame, a nice recovery pattern, getting some lower highs. It's a false bear flag on the way down. This is where we thought we'd build the pattern. We wanted it underneath 111. We got it. Now we're finding this as a support. Also, now the blue EMA using we're kind of fighting that as a resistance. So we'll see if we can maintain and hold this level. We did not take a position in PTON. I would have loved it probably for the dip buy coming down a little lower, but that's fine. We now have levels that we can start to base some trades off of. We still like it down here in the 108s. We will wait to see what pattern set up. AMC, we'll go over briefly. Line in the sand is this gray line here, and why that is the case. That was a prior day's highs where we found a lot of resistance. We did mention, let's go to that bigger time frame, the 4-hour chart. We mentioned, hey, look, we might get a little peekaboo. It looks higher, but don't forget there's more sellers usually at higher prices on the charts than there are buyers. So we got the peekaboo, the little peekaboo first thing in the morning that we were talking about, and we found some lower prices. What I would really like to see on the bigger time frame, we would maybe have to hold the position overnight, but what I would like to see, let's go to a 10-minute time frame on AMC. I would love to see it come back down into the 50-50. Well, it's been in the 50-50, down into the 50, and if we could drop down to the 49.30, I am changing my bias a little bit on AMC. If we hold this $50 area, which was a previous support or a previous resistance, we can potentially just go back and forth, eat some time off the clock, and rock and roll. So we'll be paying attention to what happens around 51.38 roughly. That's the line in the sand. The reason why, once again, is the prior day, and then we got the rejection. We get the reversal candle pattern right here. And then we get another rejection on the way down. So we know that there's some sellers in this area. If we fail the 50%, underneath that gray line, come down, retest this area, fail that 50%, we could see lower prices on AMC, which I would actually really like. Now, SPY. We mentioned SPY being weak, and we'd like to see the pullback on the SPY. The reason why is because it's kind of got some shares accumulated at the top. We mentioned 4-hour time period. The price area we expected for it to get rejected this morning. If it got rejected here, we'd see lower prices at 448.50. If it held to 448.50, we would see higher prices. So it's coming down. Now we're looking like we're just building a bear flag to the downside. And hopefully we can see the 440s would be terrific on the SPY. It needs a nice little pullback. That would be roughly around a 3% pullback. It would be great to see it even come lower down than that. So we'll keep you updated on what's going on. I will catch you guys later in the next video.